You have a very nice sense of fashion.
I am a good fundi. I can stitch you a dress in 2 hours if I sit on that singer machine. I came back and opened a shop on Gong Road. And a few people started telling others, there came Ambassador Orie Rogo Manduli. And you know, it takes me 5 minutes to understand somebody's style. She wanted everything conspicuous, exaggerated. Something that talks for her. She doesn't need to talk. And the way she was talking, I was noting down. So I tried and made her a scarf. And when she put on that scarf, she never stopped. She has put on my scarves until her death.
Welcome to AB Live today. My name is Asha Bashir. Welcome to the show. Today we are honored to have Mheshimiwa Catherine Omanyo. She is the woman representative of Busia County in the National Assembly. Welcome, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you.
We won't take much of the time. We'll go straight to interviewing our guest today. It is a privilege and honor to have you around. We've seen the wonderful job you've done, and we want our viewers to know who Catherine Omanyo is.
Catherine is a simple girl, born and raised in Busia. I went to 5 primary schools in 8 years. There's a reason behind that. The 4th born out of 10 children, and orphaned at 14. My dad left us when we were quite young. I lacked all the basic needs. And any young girl at that age, if you don't have such things, it kills you. Literally, your self-esteem goes down, your confidence is gone, you lack friends, and also stability in school was not there. But having looked into that personally, I started thinking, how do I become part of a solution? Because my mom was literally not okay, even mentally, because I think she was running into depression at some point. So when I started thinking, my mom is a woman, I'm a woman too, even though I'm young. She did not go to school properly. She has limited education. And she kept on telling us to keep sneaking in school, even if they throw us out, because we lacked fees. Fees meaning 800 shillings a year. Those days, primary schools, they used to charge very little. She couldn't afford. But she could tell us, just sneak back. By the time they realize and throw you out, you will have grasped a lot. And also lacking shelter was the biggest problem. Better sometimes when you do not have maybe food, but you have somewhere to sleep. So we lived in shanty houses, and it bothered me. So when I started thinking how to become a solution, one thing my mom told me is to shine in school. So I was literally like taking charge, marking my square, every subject. I would be friends with the teachers. And most of the teachers started talking very nice of me and saying, throwing her out of school because she lacks. We are actually throwing out somebody who can put our school on the map. So some of the teachers started avoiding to allow me be thrown out, and that really helped me to stabilize and read properly. So I went all the way to University of Nairobi. Among the people I would love to thank, because some of them are still alive, is our former Senator, Amos Wako, who was also former Attorney General. He paid my fees without seeing me. He just believed a small note I wrote. I was struggling. I was at the University of Nairobi. So I could go to his office and I just find an envelope waiting for me to pick money. So You know, when guardian angels are believed to be somewhere else, we have those that are alive and you can see them. So a few other people also participated in supporting me, but he did a lot to see me through. And when I was still in second year University of Nairobi, having lived in the slums, I realized most of the youths were actually idle in the slums. So I started a school when I was still a student. That Impreza Academy, I started it at Kawangware, Riruta Satellite, and many students came. So there was a neglected building that we had to make it be useful. No windows, no doors, but at least there was roof. I partitioned it and started that school with a few other students also who were at Kikuyu campus and others main campus. They came. They were the teachers. And we borrowed papers from people who graduated, but they don't have jobs. We said, bring this paper so we can register the school. Then we will make you a principal. Meanwhile, I was working on my own to have the papers. So actually, I started being a CEO while I was still below 23 years. And that really helped me to keep shaping my reasoning. And it helped me not to choose wrong. Because when younger people start looking at you and calling you madam, I was like, wow, this is talking to me. So starting something serious like that, looking at younger people depending on me from Form 1 to 4, some parents coming crying in my office, and I'm equally having the same problem, but just camouflaging like I can help. But as they discuss their problems and cry and ask me to allow their children to stay, it kept me going, because I knew it wasn't me, it wasn't my mother. We had issues in different ways, but how to come out of it was what I was thinking of. So the school was there. I continued also doing some tuition. Some places like Lavington, Kileleshwa, if you get just 5 serious students or even 10, you have good money, because you charge per hour and you get good money by the end of the month. So that again, I was using that money, my own sweat, to buy food in my new school and pay teachers, because the children that were coming to my school were facing the same problem that I went through. Because if you can't pay 1,000 a month, that means you are also in the same cycle that I was in. So I couldn't allow chasing. I could just say, let us see, let us see. But the challenges were some teachers would not understand. They would come 1, 2, 3 months, they go. 1 month, they go. A few of them who stuck by me, actually they are so blessed, because they were giving back to the community unknowingly. The salary they were getting was less than 10K. Is that something you can chest thump saying you are employing people? No. So, but I was also helping them, because instead of being idle, they were doing something. So I kept on doing that and stretching more, because the challenges I was facing were too overwhelming. And thank God I could attend so many conferences, church conferences. It's through that I met a young lady who had come from England through another church seminar. And she insisted to come and visit my school and just see. And she was so surprised. Students were sitting, some of them on stones, well-shaped like a block. The whole day, they are writing on their lap, because I couldn't afford everything at a go. So after seeing the situation, and she told me back in their country, they have everything at their disposal. It is actually like the opposite, because children really want to be in class, but they can't afford fees. They can't have learning resources at their disposal. But compared to England, where she had come from, that was South Devon. I think it's in southwest England. There was a school called Torquay Girls Grammar School, which I'm partnering with up to date. she went and talked about my vision. What normally makes many young people waste their lives is hardly do they share or believe in themselves. So if I couldn't have shared my vision and also shown the struggle then, she couldn't have seen the real picture. So she went back and started sharing. Everywhere she went, be it a supermarket, on the way, at school, about this girl back in Kenya. So every year people started visiting me. And unfortunately we had this post-election violence. A few people who thought I didn't belong at Riruta Satellite unfortunately threw me out of there. And I didn't give up. I carried some of the very needy students with me back to Western, where now Impreza Academy is. And a few friends who had started liking me and the vision put together their finances. We bought land there. I've built a school and boarding section. It's still going on. Now, when I went back again at home, after I graduated and after everything else, because it's a long story, I started having women groups in different locations just to discuss, because my mom was still hurting. She is alive, but that time we were not sure whether we belong to our home clan, whether we were needed, but we didn't want to harbor anger and revenge. So it's like we were forcing ourselves back home in different ways. When we hear somebody died or there's a party or something, a wedding, we just come, whether we are welcome or not. So a few of our properties had been sold. We didn't belong somehow, but it's just ignorance, because the same some of the uncles who did that again today are my biggest supporters, plus my cousins. So we went back in bits, and somehow there was a place where they buried my dad. It wasn't touched. So we had a grass thatched house there, just one. All of us used to cling together, like all of us, we could sleep on the same mattress. And it was so normal, we would snore. Today, I'm wondering how we even used to like share 1-2-inch mattress and a sack, like helping the feet not to be on the floor, and one blanket. So you pull this side, the other one pulls that other side. That having been said, I did not understand or know that I was poor. I was happy then until I came to University of Nairobi. Then I realized, oh, so people live like this, because girls would dress like you. I had never even put on a trouser, lipstick, makeup, and they looked really nice. I was looking and saying, wow. So these ones were born here, but some of them were not. They were born and raised in various places, because Nairobi University carries everybody. But people come and change. I took long even to get it. It didn't bother me. I wanted to sort my mom's problems. So back home there, when I was sitting with other single women, widows, same problems. Women have issues. Some do not talk about it. They are buried with the problems. But those who talk about it, it kept on bothering me. So as I kept on clustering women, going, visiting them, like I could have a meeting on Mondays, another one Thursdays, bigger ones weekends, after burials, because in the villages, many burials are done on Saturdays. Most women started telling me, you know, we are free with you. We talk with you. You have ideas to help us. But we look the same. Maybe looking the same, meaning I don't have what to help them be propelled up. So they started telling me, how about you going to the parliament? Then when you talk about us there, they can give you money to come and give us here. That was their idea. I was only 26. I said, what? Who will even believe me? Because I was so tiny. I was size 6 for a very long time. Many times, even if I go to a shop, I could go to the children's side to get things that fit, size 4 to 6. And I said, now, who will even believe me? But the women said, we do, because we know you. So I dared. I went for a seat, a member of parliament seat in Nambale. Nambale was big at that time. Actually, Matayos constituency is a spit of Nambale. So before they cut Matthias out, I was looking for votes across. And I would get, because I didn't have a car, I didn't have the money, it's just my vision. Anywhere I used to go, even if it's a boda giving me a lift and I get people, I would talk about what I will do then if they gave me a chance. That went on. I looked like a joke to begin with, but as I kept on getting popular, it bothered people. Why I knew that it had bothered a few people, I'll not mention. I was, that time the president today had come for a function. So when I went to also participate, I was resisted. Some goons came to threaten me. Little did I know that my popularity had given me guardian angels I had no clue. So even the people who loved me started resisting. So war erupted. I ran. I was like, in fact, I didn't even realize I had lost one shoe. I was running with one. Some goon carried me and threw me in another car. And that is how I was saved there. I didn't stop. I continued again. So out of 12 people, I came in third, 207. And then 2013 again, because I kept on doing the same anti-jigger campaigns, spraying people's homes, bed bugs, because I have lived in places that no human being would wish to live. So I understand the problems of being poor. So those things that I used to do, spraying people's homes with bed bug spray, then going to homes where children are infected, eaten by the bugs, the jiggers in their feet and hands, I would do that. And then when we get little money, we buy seeds and I supply to the widows and single mothers to have their own food, because I used to even go hungry. Not because I'm slimming, but there was just no food. So I could say if I get seeds, the widows will have food for their children. That was my thinking. Not knowing that actually that was the need. So I came back again in 2013. And that time they had split Nambale and Matthias. So I decided to go on the side of Matthias. Because Nambale, they call me Mkoko. Mkoko in Luya is a young girl. Either you can be married or not, but you're still a girl that belongs to them, yes. So there is a lot of narrative to do with that. I went to Matthias, where I had put the school, and people really supported me, young people, older people, because I had built a school. I had started also putting up another structure that I thought would be a hospital. So I could tell a few people and say, this can be a hospital, community hospital. So people loved that, and they actually voted me again, good votes. I came in second. That really motivated me. Now, 2017, in my mind and other people who are looking, I won. But they decided to announce another winner. In my heart, I said, looking at me and the struggles I've been through, I'm still alive. I will fight again. So that one went like that. I kept quiet and continued working. My friends abroad kept on inviting me back and forth, and I would see what else I can do. This time I went to the youths more than the women. 2022, I almost said I'm no longer interested in politics. I am happy with what I'm doing. Why they kept on pushing me to go back for the seat, I don't understand. But just when I almost wrote it on my Facebook page, a friend of mine called me and she told me, look, you know, this is a patriarchal place. It doesn't mean they don't like you, but they just still think a woman to be an MP, there is a culture tag on it that is still disturbing, but they love you. Now, how about you going back, but now go for women, sit. So I said, if I do it, I'm doing it the last time. That's actually how I said it. And he said, fine. He was a man. He said, okay, fine. So I said, okay, let me do it. Immediately I declared, oh my God, Even my opponents, people who were abusing me, to that day, they had already abused me, changed the narrative and said, Tosha. So I said, So what was so wrong when I wanted to be an MP and not women rep? And I actually, the votes that I got were too much. My former, the predecessor, even where she is, she's wondering. Number 2 to me, I beat her with over 82,000 votes. It's like I was running alone. So I am not really even bothered with that title. What is bothering me is how to continue being part of a solution. The need is too high, the count is too big. I feel like I'm swallowed. But the few places I have been, I smile because there's something that I've done that is evident. And as I struggle to reach everybody, my prayer is they continue being patient because I know. This is almost 1.5 years. I know I have not reached many places, but the few I've been, I've dug boreholes. People are telling me, what? Some people finished 10 years or 20 years, they have never dug even one borehole. You, in 1 year, you've dug 10. That means in 5 years, we'll have 50 or something. And I just say, glory to God, because I'm connected. If I ask friends, I don't ask for money. I tell them, what can you do? If you can dig boreholes, come and dig boreholes. I don't want that money. Because if you give me that money, people are sick, others don't have fees, others like widows, when they are snatched their matrimonial property and I start flashing back. I will go to build somebody a house and you'll call me corrupt. So go dig the borehole. So I'm going on, and there are many other things that I'm going to do. I'm determined. Table banking, I'm happy. I've been giving grants. Even tomorrow I'm going to give more, over 11 million grants. That helps the women to depend on themselves, not to wait for somebody to help them. That's when they get taken advantage of. But if somebody is empowered, at least they will think right and not be beggars. Yeah.
So you've just told our viewers that you've been in 5 schools in the 8 years.
Yes,
Was
primary.
it because of school fees or what was the issue?
I
Maybe the
lacked-
viewers are curious to know, how do you do 5 schools?
When you're unstable, wherever you live, even if it's short-lived, you thank God. It's a painful story.
Mheshimiwa, how has the journey been, being an orphan, being raised by your mom, and being the 4th born, as you said, there were siblings who were actually looking up to you. How has the journey been from that point, leave alone now the title Mheshimiwa and Catherine Omanyo, who now today my viewers and the country can see, but we are looking at how has it been for you emotionally and psychologically, knowing that now your father is no more and your mother, like you said, was now not in a capacity completely. So meaning you mentored yourself and raised yourself. So how has the journey been in terms of the emotional and psychological aspect?
Raised is the word, the right word. I've built my own crown, because when I realized my mom is done, and I could see people beat her up when she tries to say, you see, give me even just a plot. And she's beaten. As we watch, we couldn't fight back. Sometimes I'm like, I have a character. If you don't understand where I'm coming from, you would easily call me a goon. But I started fighting for myself when I was too young. The person I could have depended on is already gone. And now this one, mom, was helpless too. So that character has come with me a long way. So when I saw my mom is helpless, she was poor, she couldn't manage. She even went to start preparing porridge for cane cutters and other people who sometimes they take porridge and they don't pay. And digging for people, like cultivating, weeding. Then she gets $50 a day. $50 a day with all of us was almost like nothing, but it was something for people who live below poverty, standards. as long as you have even a meal a day or porridge. So I hated that life. And I looked at all of us. I was advantaged. One, if you are number one in a class of 250, there is something about you. So I was advantaged because some teachers would offer to see how to help. If they chase people home, they would chase my siblings. But me, I've been left to stay. So somehow I realized I'm ahead of them because of the favors that were just coming. And I went to report my uncles to the chief, and I went to report even to the courts, which has never happened in the history of our clan, a girl, to go and try and say that our land. You are a woman. Why are you talking about even land issues to begin with? So it's like I started breaking some of these
barriers.
Yes, without knowing. So I went to report my uncles. I bumped into some reporters. I reported. I told them people are taking my mom's properties. It was written. Nation newspaper that time, they wrote. One of my uncles was shaken. He ran to me and told me, you are a woman. Don't talk about land again. So again, I was like, but then my mom and us, if you don't want to give her. So all those things happening, I kept on saying, okay, so to be a woman, you cannot take your husband's land. So I have to work for my own then. That's the angle I took. As I fight for my mom, let me start working for mine. But anything I got, even the food some teachers used to give me, imagine I would put in a paper bag, githeri, to go home with. So we all eat.
So Mheshimiwa, could we say that this whole experience that you've gone through has literally shaped you to the person you are? Did it contribute to your journey to where you've reached? The experiences you had as a child?
I'm still running from those things that I witnessed while growing up. I can never even remember having enjoyed even Christmas for some years. People would be having new dresses and new shoes, and you are just there. You know, you're like, so it has shaped me, because when you want to be part of a solution to others, you have to be stable too. I keep on running ahead and I pass a baton. Whoever I pass the baton to, I tell them, run as well and be stable and pass a baton. Even the students that I give scholarships to in my school, some of them are abroad. I ask them, how many are you also educating? Show me. They have to, because there are people who can waste away. They need direction to not waste. So if you are tasked as well to start with your own siblings, if they are out of school, or your nephews and nieces, to be in school, just pay fees. And then if you want to drink, go and drink, but after clearing that fees, somehow they become responsible. That's what I've been doing, and I still do. I have children up to date that depend on me. Apart from now, the new docket I have of NGAF, I have my own cash that I pay fees for those children, because that is where it pained me a lot. Lacking fees is where I almost literally gave up completely, because it was so hard. You want to be in school, but there's somebody who keeps on reminding you that you are not supposed to be here. It's like you are stealing. Go and bring that fees. You see, when the first 5 minutes I've told you, the former senator in our county, Amos Wako, paid for my fees. He did not understand what he was doing, but I was a struggling seed beneath the soil that needed watering. Immediately he watered that seed. Even where he is, I think he's shocked. That was the seed. So I keep doing the same, because somebody somewhere who will not waste the opportunity is struggling. So whenever I pay fees, sometimes I write a big check and it goes to schools. There might be that seed again somewhere. So suffering shaped me a lot. And naturally, I'm hyper. I realized that. If I wasn't poor, I couldn't be alive, maybe. Or I could have wasted opportunities because of my other character that I keep suppressing. Even in parliament, unless somebody is just blind. But today, everybody knows me because of that other character that I try to suppress. But it just comes out like a cough. Then I start asking myself, what have I done? Yeah.
So, Mheshimiwa, you told us about your predicament in terms of your mother and your siblings. I would like to inquire, did you ever get justice? Was the land ever, even to now that you're the Mheshimiwa, did your mother and your siblings ever get justice? Because you've just told us that you went to the chief, you tried your best as a little girl at that time, but was justice ever meted on you and your family?
It took long. It was a long stretch. I have so many scars that you can't see. They run so deep. One, if like now our culture, when a man of the home dies, one of the uncles is supposed to take over everything, including the woman. But if the woman refuses, that is abomination. That's where my problems began, my mom's problems. Trying to say no and trying to say, give me time to think, to heal, and see if I can want another man. There was no time for that. It took so long. We stayed out of our own home for over 17 years. We went back and nature had taken itself. Some of the uncles who were adamant had passed on. I still pray for them. I don't hate them. And our cousins who know us and understand where we used to live, they didn't disturb. So naturally, when we came back finally, they just said, that is your home and also here, you didn't know, also here. So they were the ones even helping us to know what other parcel belongs to us. But some of it, like Amkura Shopping Center, it was sold. And that is, it hurts me up to date because I passed there. And anyone in the car with me, if they came here today, they'll tell you every time we pass there. Mheshimiwa says, all this was ours. But I say it and again, I keep quiet because I don't want those memories. Then other places, when we pass, I'm like, even here, belonged to my dad. Even in Busia town, there are places that were taken and sold when we were still young, and my mom could not fight. But I kept on talking about this anywhere, everywhere, to anyone. So some people started fearing and say, kuna kamsichana, there's that stupid girl. She thinks she's a know-it-all, trying to tell us how things should go. Does she even understand, the customs and traditions? So it took long for us to go back, and it affected some of my siblings to date. Even if now I'm in position to help. Some damages happen, especially mentally, that somebody can be saying, oh, Mheshimiwa's brother, he's drunkard, oh, that one is mad. But they don't go back to why some of these things happened. So although they are trying, but the damages happened. We still cling together. Whether drunk or sober, we still cling together. You can never know who's my child, my brother's children, my sister's children. All of them, we bring them together and help each other.
Interesting. You talked about the school, the journey from here in Nairobi, in Kawangware, Riruta, to now home. That shows the entrepreneurship in you. How was the journey? Were you making profits at that time when it was at Riruta? Or was it just you're now getting into business? Because I know there are young viewers out there who want to venture into business, because you said you were in the university at that time.
Yes, I wanted to create some money for me to pay rent, because I lived outside campus, to pay rent and not be a beggar. Because for a long time I had gone to offices of all waheshimiwas. Honorable Gumo, 1,000. The late Ambassador Fande, 2K. Former Vice President, 10K. You know, when I see some people looking for me, I understand. They would be going to sleep hungry. So if you can give them even 200, why not? There's no office I didn't know. And it just naturally comes. You are here, nobody speaks your language sometimes, and a few who are speaking your language, your problems are similar, so you go to other people who have made it and tell them, I'm so and so's child. He died long time ago, but my grandfather was known. So you know, when you want people now to get a map of where actually you come from, you draw, you trace them back. There's no Google. But when you talk, they understand. So some of them who are keen would say, your grandfather was a great man. So you start from there and say, yes, yes, yes. But then what has brought me here? Actually, they've thrown me out of class. I can't sit for exams. If you can help. Even if you don't pay, this is the account number, you know. So being bold and just courageous and knocking those doors. And I would tell the secretaries, you are chasing me, and when Mheshimiwa was home, he said, I come, ask him. You know, sometimes you just lie, but because of the desperation. So, yeah, the school, I started because I wanted to also not be a beggar. And also support people who might be in need to be in school, but they can't afford. Because which school charges 3,000 a term, and you eat at the same time? It's like you're just paying for your food. So I always made sure there is lunch for all the children. So even after post-election violence, the same idea, I took it back home. We have teenagers who have children, and it's a shame to give birth home. Sometimes they are chased out because daddy comes back and says, go and get married to the father of that child. But then the father of the child has disowned you or said, kwani ni yangu. So where do you go? They come to Impreza Academy and stay. There are children there, if you came today, when we close, they don't go home. They just stay home. That is home. Until the parents calm down, now we can take them back. Yeah.
So, Mheshimiwa, you've highlighted your journey of scars, as you put it, if I may use your words, and the journey of resilience from where I sit, because it meant you had to take each day as it comes, but without losing hope and faith for a better day. Now, the journey to politics. What made you think about the service to humanity? Because, like you said, you had already started the school, yes. What was your motivation to having these women groups, the bankings, the attending funerals at home? What inspired you? Did you have the end goal?
Funerals.
Yes.
Actually, funerals.
Because I know funerals are part of where you attend also.
It helped me a lot. You know, somebody like me, I cannot really mobilize a rally. So I used to really go to funerals. One, to cry with them, but two, for people to know me. So I could, anywhere I would know. You would think God forgive me. Every funeral I used to go to. The driving force is, I knew where the solution was. There's a woman in one of the sittings who said, go to parliament. You know, when you go there, you can represent us. You tell them that they are snatching our land. And you tell them too that they are forcing us, they are raping us. When we are talking as women and we are just like, I tell them, you know, this is mom. And some of them say, we know her. We know what has happened to her. So they open up because mom is there. And they say, yeah, even her mom went through it. So they talk. And they said when you go to parliament there, that's where they make laws. Make laws that will help us. Can you imagine after the struggle of coming to parliament? The law is there. Well written. Protecting women, widows, orphans. The problem is implementation only and corruption. If people didn't touch money that goes to people like those, I couldn't have, anyway.
Mheshimiwa, your journey to Nairobi, and because there are so many young people who, for the first time, join universities from the rural setup, who come. You said you came and found a different perspective of life, and your life took
First
a U-turn,
time.
as I might put.
First time to a real city.
First time to a real city.
A real town, yeah.
And you said you did. You have a very nice sense of fashion. Did that also crop from that period that you were at the university? And perhaps you'd like to share what other jobs you did other than the school when you got to the University of Nairobi.
I am a good fundi. I can stitch you a dress in 2 hours if I sit on that singer machine. One time, I went to help somebody in their shop. She is now in England. And when I was helping, so that she gives me something out of it, some people started coming in, and I supported one person to come up with a design for her wedding. And it came out exactly, it was like I knew her. And she just said, it is you who will be stitching for me in that shop. So a few people in that shop started again fighting me. So I worked hard and bought my own machine. And also worked hard because I didn't have a phone, and bought a phone. Very ugly phone. It used to be called Motorola. So I started saving numbers of those clients who like me to stitch for them. Then it reached a time I wanted to live in peace. So I told the lady, I have other things, exams, and the school I've started, it needs me, I have to go. But the singer machine, I had it in my house. So the few people I had, I just started making, then I dropped. And then it was difficult for some people to come to where I was living because I was still living
Mheshimiwa, where were
a
you living?
simple
So
simple
that the young
room,
people
hidden
here cannot...
in interior. Reroute a satellite, but interior sides where it is cheaper. So I came back and opened a shop on Gong Road. And a few people started telling others, there came Ambassador Orie Rogo Manduli. And you know, it takes me 5 minutes to understand somebody's style. She wanted everything conspicuous, exaggerated. Something that talks for her. She doesn't need to talk. And the way she was talking, I was noting down. So I tried and made her a scarf. And when she put on that scarf, she never stopped. She has put on my scarves until her death, because I could make even 20 of them in advance. And she could come with a big car just to carry her scarves. So I was dressing her, the African designs and the scarves. And the more I did, the more other people came. Even the late Laureate Peace Prize winner, Wangari Maathai, I made her several clothes. Some of them I could see them on the newspaper because I'm thorough when it comes to making some of these, especially African clothes. I'm not too good with suits. So that was a side hustle. But again, it started feeding my orphans because I could start get money, it goes immediately. I buy sugar, make sure I have enough flour, you know, at school. I was still at Kawangware. So that is still in me, and it's still with me. Today, I don't get enough time. I closed that shop after, especially when I went to Western to settle there. I tried to sell there, but the address I could sell here at 10 in Western, if you told them even 2,000, they will say no. We are used to something at below 1,000. So I focused on things that are bringing in money to help others. Because if you say you are helping others, then you must also sustain yourself in a way, you know. Tuition, I still do. Some people call me to date and still
Even now as a Mheshimiwa?
Yeah, they tell me, are you still doing
people
tuition?
will reach out to you for tuitioning.
Yes, now that you're, I'm like, no, let me see that child. And I send them to school. I just send them to school. It's good also to help others. So they negotiate. Some teachers I know are not employed. Are you available? your subject is needed, I give them.
So the first job that you did when you came to Nairobi was now tuition
And school.
and school.
And then dressmaking.
Dressmaking.
Yeah.
Rumor had it at that one point you became a house girl. How true is that
I
story?
was. Oh, that was even the best. You know, I was a house girl to two families. In fact, one of the house that I helped and did tuition to the children was a former deputy governor in Bungoma, Kibanani. Yeah, the wife was a beautiful soul. In fact, she paid for me fees as well at University of Nairobi. And the former governor of Bungoma is the one who actually helped me to come to Nairobi. I didn't know where Nairobi was. He was a lecturer in KU and said University of Nairobi is just in town, you know. So I used to do tuition to their children and also wash their clothes, wash some plates, do a few things. And another family that also was really good, I was, apart from being a house girl, they took me in as family. I did all those things. But, you know, the beauty of being a house girl, if you are a good one, you don't pay any bills, you don't buy food, you sleep, it's free. To me, because I had come from a place where
everything is a
the
struggle.
fear in me is settling. Because anytime you are thrown out, you have not paid rent, you have those fears. So that time I was so excited to stay with people. And I didn't lose focus, even if I was a house girl. I didn't lose focus of where I want to go, to come back and help mom. So imagine I could get 800 bob or 500 bob salary, all of it in an envelope. P.O. box, my mom. Yeah. And my mom is not wasteful. She would thank me and say, it arrived at the right time. We were going to sleep hungry. So it kept giving me, you know.
So that was your first job?
To work. Yes. I was a house girl for long, almost 4 years. Yeah.
Just to make ends meet.
Oh.
And you meet those families now that you are Mheshimiwa?
My friends, they are. We keep talking and we laugh. Even one came to my church one time and gave a testimony. Said, hey, she was. And I said, but you were like my family. I wasn't really treated like a house girl, which is very important. If you have a house girl or house boy, gardeners, watchmen, treat them good. Some of them are just on transit. They have a dream. Like me, that time, nobody would know where I would end, and they treated me well. Yeah.
So now here is the young Catherine in Nairobi, hustled everything, succeeded, and is now in 2022, that material day that you were announced the winner. How was it? How did you feel?
I was tongue-tied. I had written a long speech because people had told me I've won. Already I've won over 4 sub-counties, remaining 3. And the 3 that had remained had lesser votes. Even if they refused to announce them, the votes I had already at that time, I knew I had won. So I wrote a long speech. When finally that presiding officer gives me a chance now to read, all the courage, I just got blank. I couldn't even remember that I have a speech. I just stood there. And I think I thanked people and then I didn't know what to say. That was it. A lot was going. Usually I see my mom, most of the times, that face.
Mheshimiwa, is mom still alive?
Yes.
How did she feel now that she sees you as a member of parliament?
She was singing.
Or a woman representative.
All the choruses I've never heard of. I don't know, she was creating some in her mind. She sang, she danced. She said, if your daddy was to resurrect now, we would really enjoy. You know, she'd never got any other lover to date. She said dad was the only lover. So she was saying, oh my God, all that I've been through, God knew that one of my child will reach this level and never even whispered. You know, so, you know, the way when she says it in Luya, it's more strong than...
You can actually say it. I'm sure there are Luya viewers who would want to hear direct...
Nyasaye wabafuvi, God of orphans. Nyasaye wabajane, you know, God of the widows. Wamanya mwendili basi yesi mundu ni sombo. You know, like, you knew I would be somebody. And you couldn't even tell me, you know. Sometimes when you know that something is on the way, even if you are suffering,
Yeah,
you
you
will
have
hold
hope,
on.
you have resilience.
That's what she meant. But all this time, no clue. We were just suffering ulcers, depression, madness, like we are crazy, but you're not crazy. You never laugh at any mad person. It's not madness. You reach a level you are talking to yourself, you are calculating bills. Like you're saying, if I picked now 1 million, I will buy land, I will build a house, I will buy enough food. You are just, those are things you are wishing. Yeah, so it's not madness. So all it reached a time, even the way we looked, if anything got lost in the neighborhood, we were the first suspects because we were needy. So
how do you compare the 2022 general elections that you actually won compared to the other 2 times that you tried to vie and you lost? How was that feeling? Of course, this one you won, it is a happy moment, but those 2 other instances that you lost the election, how was it for you?
losing,
Because maybe there are people out there who've tried these political seats, who've lost and
It
said,
is-
Ikae, I'm not even going back to the ballot. It's something
Yeah.
else. So
it is a
how
pain.
was the feeling?
It is a pain you cannot describe. It aches, and we have people who mock you, even after losing. Me, I was called a perennial loser so many times, because 2007 I just announced I didn't have anything. I knew I would not make it, but that was the introduction. 2013, people needed change, but again, it didn't come on time. 2017, some of the people said, you know, you won, but you went to sleep. Again, it is painful to lose, and then it's more painful when people mock you after losing. We have people who are so senseless. Some of them project their issues or their anger on you. Even people who do not know you want to tear you and tell you, you should know people. Usiwahi jitia kwa ocean. Wewe ni kamto kengine hata akana jina, you know, the way they were describing me. So right now, they tell you when you fail, some of them are so senseless and they still abuse you.
Did you lose friends at that time?
A lot. Even a text, you would text 1, 2, 3, 4, no reply. You would be like, you know, there was a time I had worked as a consultant and got some money. So I went in style, you know, 2017, and came back covering myself like a Muslim because I didn't have fuel, I didn't have a car. I hid myself. I came back in Easy Coach. Imagine going with a Prado, then you come back in Easy Coach. And then you have to come out of Easy Coach, it's raining, you are stepping in water, jumping, trying to catch up a matatu that people have taken kale, avocados, sacks. So some of them are literally putting them on your thighs and telling you, nashuka tu pale, kidogo tu shikilia. Now you are helping somebody, umeshikilia kales. Huko umetoka ulikuwa unaitwa mheshimiwa, then here
Unabeba mboga.
kales imekulalia kwa thighs, you are resting, just praying to go and hide very quickly. And I avoided people too. There was a time I just avoided people. A few people didn't want to talk about me. Some of my cousins, I forgive them anyway. They really mocked me. They did. It's annoyingly bad for a relative to be part of the people who want you to fail. Because what hurts even more, that when you're successful, they are the first ones to gain. Because again, the clan comes and says, yeah, you are one of us. How can your nephew or niece be at home? And you are purporting that you are paying fees. So again, you just pay. Yeah. But when you are struggling, they are like, that one is a wannabe. They even don't have anything. Now, what is she even doing? Embarrassing herself. So
So you actually sold, in 2017, you sold your car and all your savings, and you started again from scratch.
I had nothing. But thank God I have a handsome husband in his heart. He went to work twice to try and bring my spirits up, sending me pocket money, sending me, money, and then finally sent me a ticket and told me, come home. Come and stay with me here. We will go back later. I was running mad, actually. It's like I didn't want to wake up. If you've ever slept and didn't want the next day to come, 2017 was it. I said, how do people just sleep and then they go? Like die, Bad, wrong thoughts were coming in my
What
mind.
would you advise to people who've been in an election cycle, in the last general election perhaps, which is the nearest, those people who went to vie na ile wanasemanga kura zikutosha,
Yeah.
what would be your message to them so that perhaps they learn from you who lost 3 times in a row? What would be your advice to them?
You must have a support system. I've realized there are people I can't afford to lose. They are very good and they don't know, but I'm just being so close. Those who finally, they reach you and say, are you okay? Where are you? Those people. You must start also having a fallback plan, exit plan. You can never be a politician forever. This is so temporary. Whether you go in 1 term or 2 terms or never made it, you must have things that you don't touch, you don't sell, because you're putting your family at risk, especially assets. Better go in, let other people support you. Agree if you go through how you will also pay them back. But selling assets is the biggest lesson I have learned. My husband sold his house to support me. That was his. I'm using the word his because I didn't put in money. Before we met, he had it. So that is his, according to the law. He sold it because he still knew I have something in me. He took me to a few rallies and saw the response and said, no, you need to be supported. Then he told me, don't ask any people money. We'll see what to do. And I thought he was joking. He sold things, I don't know what he sold, whatever he did. But he brought money to support me.
How is the political terrain in Kenya? The ground seems to like people with money. So to a young aspiring politician who wants to hit the ground and does not have money, is there any hope, Mheshimiwa, for them?
Let them put their vision first and do it actually, not just talk. If you see, I started being part of a solution when I was 14 in school. People who went with me to school today, unless they just don't want, they will say if it is Catherine. Actually, they even helped me so much. Those 5 primary schools I went to, if anyone is sick, I would tell the teacher, even before I became a prefect. The whole time I've been leading anyway. Class monitor, class prefect, entertainment prefect, all the way head girl. So I was so concerned about somebody. If somebody is absent, I will walk to their home without anyone sending me. And I didn't know that that was leadership, to find out, why didn't you come to school? Then they will tell me. Then when I come tomorrow, I tell the class teacher, so-and-so did not come because of ABCD. So I was part of a solution the whole time. And when I get little, I start with thinking, if I eat alone now and at home, that's why I used to carry some food home to eat with the rest of my siblings. And I still do that to date. So some of these things, if you want to lead, don't be driven by the money. Yeah. So
now, Mheshimiwa Catherine, now you're back. You've won the election. How was it, the drive coming to Nairobi? And now, what are the things you expected of Parliament? And were your expectations met? Or you came to Parliament and you're like, wait a minute, I need to go home and rest and come back to this reality. How was it from the moment you left Busia to come to be sworn in and serve the people of Busia? Yeah?
The 13th Parliament is a big joke, and I will not apologize. All the things I thought the Parliament would do to save the people are not happening. And with the opposition having remained handful, it's a big joke. There are things that are just past. Even if some of us are like saying, no, banging the table, trying to, you know, do all the drama in there. But we are few. We are very few. Some people have been bought. Having seen, in fact, in Parliament, somehow, we have chauvinists, misogynistic thinkers there. If you are not so firm and understand where you are headed to, you can easily be taken for a ride, taken advantage of, intimidated, oppressed, and you remain calm, shut for the rest of 5 years, of which I can't. There are triggers that happen there that make me behave the way I behave in Parliament. There was a time I even...
Critics say you're too violent. Your critics say Mheshimiwa Catherine Omanyo is chaotic. She's violent. What do you have to tell the viewers about that?
I cannot sit
and that
there.
you beat your colleagues in Parliament.
Yes, Ichung'wah described me in a manner that reminded me of my pain. I did not plan to push him, but he insisted and came to me again, told me I'm smelling my mouth, my hair. You know, people who suffered marasmus, kwashako, you don't tell them things to do with hair. I've told you I have scars you cannot see. Yeah. So he was insisting, abusing me. And then he came nice, nearer me. And he was laughing. And he was with Osoro, like mocking me. And I stood up. What I did, I didn't even know, but it happened. So when you meet with your colleagues anywhere, avoid name calling, shaming them. If they are fat, let them be. If they are so thin, let them be. If they look malnutritioned, let them be. Try not to hurt them if you have nothing to do with them. But if you can be part of a solution, then see the need and see how to help, or just leave them. So he was busy abusing me, my physical appearance and everything. Any girl, whether raised in a rich background or poor, why should somebody mock you how you look and moving close to you? He was looking for trouble. I never moved to where he was. He moved to where I was and abusing me. And then said, niende nisugue meno kwanza. Did he want to kiss me? He does not qualify. My husband is 1 in a million. Very few. A rare species. If Ichung'wah saw my man, he will never talk about me again. But I forgive him again. So he triggered something he did not know. I think he's innocent, but because he's used to abusing everybody, he should know that there are people, their journey sometimes is so painful. Even to have reached in Parliament is a miracle. So let us argue. When he wants to abuse somebody, let him abuse, but not go to physical appearance and, you know, showing them how they are worthless.
How is your relationship with Mheshimiwa Kimani Ichung'wah right now?
I have no problem with him. I just spoke to him before recess. He actually called me, and we went where, you know, there's a place for opposition in middle there. Then he told me, oh, una kelele sana. And I said, na sasa kaa niliumbwa hivyo nitafanya aje? Nitajaribu kunyamaza. In a very friendly manner. Then I realized again, he's very innocent. He wasn't really abusing me because he knows my background. But again, it triggered something in me that didn't sit well. So he's my friend.
You said the 11th Parliament as it is a big joke.
Yes.
What do you mean a big joke?
Because of the things they are passing. They will take some of the people who are still in a place where Catherine was to continue being there or worse. When you pass some dubious bills that only will help 10% of the Kenyan population and leave out 90%, you are returning people to the place where we thought we were coming from. Why did we fight the British, the colonialists? Why did we fight them? We thought we would be free and do things that are self-sustaining, things that will make us stand and be proud of being Kenyans. But then we are being taken back there. The finance bill, there are sockets in there that are very bad. They will harm all of us. Housing levy, it's very discriminating. Imagine today if one person is almost retiring, maybe they have 2 years to go or 1 year to go, and they are being deducted that money. That even if they retired, whom do they go to say, I never wanted the house, I want my money back? That is not like NSSF, where when you retire, you can go to ask for that money and get it. And the structure is even wrong. What if I'm already paying a mortgage and I don't want any other house, and my salary is committed? You still come to my gross and deduct it by force, because I have not accepted anything that you have not accepted. Why are some people being deducted, and yet they are comfortable where they are? Maybe they have a mortgage, or they will retire at home. You know, when I say home, there are people who are building where their ancestral land is, and they are planning to retire there. They don't want to buy apartments, but you are forcing them to buy. So there are some things that people just come, you see quorum, within 2 hours, it is passed. But it will come to haunt them someday. You see now, like the finance bill, now they are saying, oh, we go back and repeal some of it and top up some sections to make sense, because we have realized the farmers are suffering. Why didn't they listen then, even if I'm a nobody who was trying to scream, and then I was suspended out of parliament so that I don't even vote? And then sometimes we have logical decisions, ideas. We want just to share so that they can top up in the bills before they are passed. But we are denied. We are denied. You press the intervention, you press, you know, you want somebody to see that you have something to also add into the bill. You are denied. There are people who are marked. And that is why when you see some of us walk out, why should you be a seat filler in parliament? They did not vote me to go and just sit and feel parliament to be seen like it has quorum. No, I went to protect my people. And if something is not good, I will protect them by all means, even if becoming crazy the way they are describing me. They will say that actually she had refused that thing. And when I go back to them, I'll tell them I tried. It passed, but I had said no. Didn't you see? Even if the way I communicated, it did not go well in some people's eyes because they are very judgmental, then that was the reason.
Parliament as it is in the Kenyan context is separate, because we enjoy what we call the doctrine of separation of powers, meaning Parliament is separate from the executive. As a sitting woman representative who sits in Parliament, do you think the doctrine of separation of powers applies, and that Parliament on itself is not under the watchful eye of the executive?
The executive has maligned every other arm. The executive has overstepped by buying some of the parliamentarians. Even in some of the corridors of justice, the other arm, the judges, some people's hands are tied. If every arm could have boundaries and respect each other, Kenya will be beyond most African nations and even other struggling nations. But executive has overwhelmed or overpowered the parliament because of what I witness. There are people who would wish to vote otherwise. But the majority leader, Kimani Ichung'wah, is like the prefect. And he literally looks, and with a pen and a paper, anyone who tries to do whatever, he notes down. And he even purges them as we watch. So people's wings have been clipped especially the Kenya Kwanza side and the people who are bought from the opposition side. So we really don't enjoy that. There's nothing like that. Yeah.
And do you think, in your opinion, because you're a sitting member of parliament, that the opposition is doing its job? Or do you feel, even as an opposition legislator, from where you sit, from the ODM party, do you think there's more that can be done from the opposition side? Because the opposition ideally should do the oversight. And are you people playing your oversight duty in parliament?
The opposition that we have this time is the best. Top cream. The ideas. That's why they don't even allow debate. Because the other side will look dumb. The opposition has very sharp people. And how they go into the bills and analyze and see some red flags is what really makes me get so excited and happy that I'm in the opposition side. Very sharp people. The only problem is we are few. And some people are afraid because there's a lot of cautions, warnings. Wewe, utajua ujui. In fact, I must say this. Some of us have been told tutahakikisha harudi. And most of them, they say, oh, unajua mtu fulani kweli. Utakuja kukalie huko. Hautarudi, jifanya hapo hatuendi, unaeka government on toes, ama una correct, unafanya nini. But you know, somebody like me who's raised myself, I have witnessed it all. And threats to me is normal. So they can still threaten. It's part of my meal. In fact, I get confused when somebody comes in love. I don't believe, because I've been taken advantage of the whole of my life until recently, especially when I met my husband. So threats and intimidation, vitisho, usilale kwako, sijui what, all that.
So are those things rumors that we see as, or it's reality on the ground, that the intimidations are still there? Only
It
that
is.
maybe
It's
not
there. In fact, some of my colleagues on the other side, we can't mention, the days of maandamano, they told us kuna instructions zimepewa na live bullets zitatumika. Because Kati, the way I know you, and I'm putting it the way she said, wewe ndio tegemeo kwenu pekee, usitoke kwa nyumba. Bullet inaweza kukushika wewe. And I thought ananitishia so that I don't go kusema chakula bei imeenda juu, nini imeenda juu. Real bullets were used. My vehicle was behind the former governor of Kakamega's. And I just had two real bullets, not tear gas. And actually a bullet went through his car. It could have killed him. His side is where they targeted. So my friend was right. When you have a heart that can crumble quickly, after witnessing that, can you go back? No. And my car was beaten, the side of my bodyguard actually. God brought me, I don't know where I got those boys, but my bodyguard, the tear gas hit him. He never ran away. He was sneezing. He was still standing where I am seated so that it hits him. And I said, oh my God, how can somebody be so inhuman? We lost one side of the mirror and the ugly vehicle. Anyway, whatever they did. But it's real. That is, it happened. Not like now, somebody just talking. It happened, I witnessed. Thank God Baba finally gave us another direction. But if he still says we go back, we will. We will. Some of us already signed a death certificate, so no problem. Let them just kill. If they kill me in the line of duty, I'll die as a hero, not as a coward.
There were rumors that there's also a lot of corruption and bribery in parliament some time back. Have you witnessed yourself since you got to this honorable house?
People are smart. I'm telling you, Kenyans can rule the world. No wonder we already have Obama in America. You cannot know, but it's in the system. You will just see something has left, something is missing, and you are asking how, but it's not there and it's not there. So Kenyans are smart, the best accountants in the world and everything else. Yeah, there is corruption, but you cannot easily catch anyone. It is very hard. Yeah.
Mheshimiwa, your journey in ODM, how did it start? Because I think now you're the Deputy Secretary General of the party.
I was a secret admirer of Baba's vision and Baba and everything to do with Baba when I was still out. You know, when I was young, we used to have a very powerful ODM leader. He was called Honorable Chris Okemo. I actually used to really like him too, but then people kept on pushing me, simama, simama. So I obeyed. I started with a small party. Jirongo was the chair, Kadu. In that time, I was the youth leader. So I came to UDF, which turned to ANC. And again, in Busia, it's ODM. Whether you're a billionaire or not, it is ODM. If you're not ODM, by the time they start voting, the ODM candidate has almost 30,000 votes ahead. You are starting with 0. So if you have a brain, use it. So I decided to jump ship, and I went to the biggest party in East and Central Africa. And actually, they welcomed me. They have teamwork, something I had never witnessed elsewhere. They look for you. They call you. They ask you, how are you doing? You know, I love ODM. There's a lot of teamwork. Even if some people want to damage and put some soil on our fabric, they would wish to be part of us. ODM is where everybody should be at the moment. So I joined ODM, and everybody welcomed me. Our governor, Tuoma, Honorable Anjala, you know, he's a comedian. He would just say, yes, Busia finest. You know, the way he gives you, it really makes your spirit go up. And he would say during even campaigns that we have the most beautiful women rep, meaning he's dissing the other ones, because we were many. So there's a way ODM just grows people. Even if you still don't know what you're doing, you'll find yourself on the way. But they come and position you well, protect you, push you. It is teamwork. And they say 6-piece openly. So when you're also lazy, you just go and pass with everybody else. Yeah.
Mheshimiwa,
And I'm happy I'm the Deputy Secretary General.
Mheshimiwa, now that you're in a powerful position of the Deputy Secretary General, ODM, the party leader, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, is set to get a job. And I know that you know very well as the AU chairperson. What is your take on your party leader?
Baba Raila Amolo Odinga is a father figure to me. And I have attachment issues. In fact, I don't like going very close because I don't want to disappoint him and misbehave. You know, that kind of a kid, that's me. Sasa baba kienda, you know, it's natural. It's so natural to worry a little. But he's not far. Even if he goes, Ethiopia is not very far from Kenya. It's only 2 hours. He can be coming every weekend and rally with us wherever we are and go back. I personally want promotion for Baba. It's long overdue. Because Baba, go to Nigeria, come back to South Africa, go to Mozambique. There is no one like Baba. In fact, I think he's their daddy, the daddy of all the presidents in Africa. So that seat fits him like naturally. He won't even need to learn what to do. He's a teacher at the same time. When you sit with Baba and you are sharp, 10 minutes is a lot. Just sit there and listen. It will build you for another 40 years. So I'm happy for him. People should not worry in ODM. In fact, he has left a lot of good seeds that are germinating, others germinated already. So it is us not to let him down. Because you cannot, I watched some movie where there was somebody teaching another one how to fight and then disappeared and left that person. And he fought, you know. So sometimes you don't need to be healed your hand throughout all the time. Sometimes just showcase what you can do as well when Baba is away. But he's not really away. He will be with us.
We've seen so many Kenyans talking about now ODM as a party. because the Right Honorable Prime Minister, former Prime Minister Raila Odinga has held the ODM party together. And critics are saying now that Baba is leaving for AU. One, ODM will crumble because you have two deputy party leaders, former Governor Ali Hassan Joho and former Governor Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya.
The two former governors, Honorable Ali Hassan Joho and Honorable Wycliffe Oparanya, are 5 and 6. They are together, they talk, they plan things together. They have not shown any sign of negative competition. You know, if you have children, even if they are 10, one will look like he's running this way, but when they come back home, they belong to that house. And the house rules in that house, we know who gives direction. They are together. They are not even the way people are seeing. It is people wishing that way. But ODM as a party, when you come to Oparanya or Joho, they are one thing. What Oparanya is thinking is what Joho is thinking. And if Baba is away, the two party leaders are to show us direction. That is it. Even if you ask my Secretary General Sifuna, that's not, people are saying yes, and they will say you can never stop anyone with their mouth from opening it.
Sir Ali Hassan Joho and the current deputy party leader has publicly come out to say he's ready for the top seat, though in the ODM fraternity. We also saw yourself, Caleb Amisi, Mheshimiwa, and Babu Wino and the rest also saying you're forming your own outfit in terms of now going to the Mwananchi and forming that third alliance of opposition. What is your take in all this? Because you being the Deputy Secretary General, one, let us know what is happening, because we see, like I said, yourself and your colleagues yesterday issuing a press conference and saying we are now coming.
We are together because we voted no when it came to housing levy bill and finance bill. Just check everybody who was there. So we say we are like-minded. Let us fight for wananchi. We are not forming anything to cause any confusion. If I'm saying no and you're saying no, we are birds of the same feather. So it is just a way of us attracting people to read the news. But it is people with same thinking. And like I said, I respect people's opinion, but they've got it so wrong on the ODM. If I want to be a president and I start talking about it, so be it, even if I'm in ODM. If Joho wants to be president or Paranya wants to be president, so be it. When that time comes, then we will get who to give all the energy, the push, get all the support. So anyone with a dream and is alive, it is valid. So no one will object or read beyond the statement yet. It is good that they have shown that. Oparanya has been so consistent, Joho is so consistent. That's why I told you we have strong pillars in ODM, that either of them, if they will decide, we will support. But at the moment, we do not have any presidential candidate. Yeah.
So as the Deputy Secretary General, your message to the critics who say now, if Baba exits for the new job, ODM kwisha, because now Joho will be reading his script, Oparanya will be reading his script, and any other member of the ODM fraternity will be reading their own script. It will be now survival for the fittest, God for us all, tukanyagania hapa ndani.
There is no other script than the one that ODM itself as a party will come out with. There is no Joho script, there is no Oparanya script or any other person's script. We only have one script and we are yet to come out with it. So it's always good also to dream loud during the day and wish that it goes this way or that way. But as a person who will be sitting in the neck, we have our own ways of how we bring out things. So let them be patient and continue supporting the party, continue putting the vision of the party, ideologies first than individuals. because the ideologies and the vision, mission of the party is bigger. So let them focus on the mission, the vision of ODM.
Mheshimiwa, you're in Azimio. What happens to Azimio now, in your opinion?
Baba and everybody else, they have not fought, they have not said we are no longer together. Azimio is intact. We are strong. We are moving. In fact, it shouldn't be seen that when Baba is not there, any other person cannot move. Let people move. We are still Azimio until further notice. You know, in politics, anything is possible until further notice. So nothing has crumbled. And Baba going to AU has given us a real challenge. Now I want to know, who am I when Baba is a little bit far? Can I also hold the ground? That is when now people will bring out all their might. Yeah.
My apologies, Mheshimiwa, coming to you now. You've said the governor, in your opinion, has done his part. Coming to you, what can you, looking at your camera, what can you tell the people of Busia you've done since you were elected to parliament as their woman representative? Kindly tell the people of Busia and the viewers what you have done for the people of Busia since you were elected.
I have taken youths abroad for jobs. As I'm talking now, we have about 15 in Seychelles, and Qatar about 11. I'm still doing it. I've gotten, I'm recruiting nurses at the moment as well to go abroad. Two, I have given grants to many women groups across the county. Every location, as I speak now, at least one group has benefited. And then school fees, I started when I was 21 years. Now with the top-up of NGAF, I am still giving scholarships. We have one boy in Michigan University, USA, doing aeronautical engineer. I'm so proud of him. I started like a joke, but it is happening. But the local bursaries, scholarships are going on. At the moment, I have 55 girls, teenage mothers, who I'm paying full scholarship. They are already in various schools. And jiggers, I said I used to do anti-jigger, I've never stopped. I'm still going into other fewer villages that still have those the problems. The last 2 months, I think that's what I was doing. At the moment, I've been supplying tanks, water reservation methods, because Busia still does not have piped water. So if we can reserve, because it comes a time when it's so dry, and children have to travel very far to look for water. They waste a lot of time in various schools. I've done boreholes to 13 schools now, of which the arrangement is the community around that school can also benefit. And then also they've been buying some seeds to a few women groups. It is very expensive. I need help in that docket, but that's what I've done so far. And 3, I've bought Singer machines. A few have benefited. More are yet to benefit because we just got umbrellas for people who stay under the sun, scorching so hot the whole day. Some roasting maize, some selling sugarcane, whatever farm produce they have, sitting under the sun the whole day. One time I was talking to another widow and her eyes were yellow. I knew that is the effect of the sun. So I've spread across the county. I've been supplying to people who sit in open air markets, but under the sun, no shade. Apart from that, I'm bringing blood rice too. That now what I'm yet to do. I've finished with what I've done. Blood rice to girls who approached me. They have salons, very tiny, single-roomed, but they don't have other gadgets. So blood rice are already on the way. I'm still doing a lot. It's only 1.5 years. But to me, whatever comes first, I just give. I don't hold back. So I also ask for our people to be grateful. There are people who constantly will bash anything you do. And there's a young man who had a bicycle made of wood and some rims. I bought him a bicycle, and now he goes to school, and now I have requests of so many others, because we are not from very rich backgrounds, most of the people. So if they ask, I note down. They ask, I note down. An old man approached me and asked for a blanket. And I sent one of my coordinators to go to visit. He actually did not have beddings, but he went for a blanket. So as I'm talking now, I've bought 1,000 blankets. All the people, starting Friday, I'm supplying those from homes that look like that, so that during rains, at least they cover. It's just stretching and thinking outside the box. Maybe that one old man was speaking for the rest, which was true. It turned out, because the coordinators in each sub-county have analyzed and given me the names of those who need to be helped in that section. So, yep, I love my job.
Your take on this country in terms of the current regime under His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto. What is your opinion and what is your message to the current president if he's watching? What is your message to him, and what is your take on how the country is in terms of the direction the country has taken?
If he could only listen, that's it. I think he doesn't listen. There are things we have said. He's a knowledgeable man. He reads the newspaper. He watches television. He has so many advisors. What just goes wrong? The other day, 2/3 gender rule, because he has been pushing other bills to go through. When it comes to 2/3 gender rule, he doesn't do what he could have done, like panel beating people to come and just pass that as well. And because he suffered, I remember I listened to him one time, selling chicken and things like those. He has come from a humble background. My prayer is he doesn't forget. He should be remembering that time before he signs anything into law. Because if he doesn't remember that time when he was needy, when he was the spanner boy of the former late president, immediately he forgets, then he will pass bills that will oppress people like him at that time. That's it. But if he remembers, he's a very good.
So scoring this regime under His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, out of 0 to 10, how will you rate this current government?
1. 1 out of 10. Because he's harmed people more than, he's forgotten hustler issues. Forgotten completely. Now he's a dynasty. I no longer know him. I knew the hustler Ruto, not this dynasty Ruto. Yeah, he's lost himself. So if he comes back to himself, Kenya will be beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa, for your time and for coming and sharing insights. We had a very good interview with you. I'm sure the viewers have learnt a lot and are going to give us comments to see what next for Mheshimiwa Mamo of Omanyo. So of course we'll keep tabs on her progress. And the people of Busia, please let us know what you think of your woman rep, and let us also know if the projects she has said have been done, have truly been done. Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. It was nice having you.
You're welcome.